Okay, seriously, why do I keep finding myself in the same situation, just with different people? Different people, different circumstances, but somehow the same outcome. OMG. If I didn't know any better, I think this was some kind of pattern. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. Because sometimes you don't recognize a pattern by the way it starts. You recognize it by what it keeps producing. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn a simple way to identify the patterns that keep popping up in your life by looking at three things: the root, the pattern, and the fruit it keeps producing. And I am going to use one of my own patterns, people pleasing and overgiving people who don't reciprocate, to show you exactly how I learned to identify and eventually break the cycle. Because oftentimes we keep asking ourselves, oh my gosh, why does this keep happening to me? Why? Why do they keep doing this to me? When in all actuality, you have to ask yourself why you keep participating in it. We're going to talk about it today. Come on in. Come on. We getting ready to start. Hey guys, and welcome back to It's a Vibe, Mind, Body, and Spirit. If you're new here, I'm Maya Lee. I am a director and an educator in early childhood, and I am a spiritual life coach. And thanks for joining me for episode 3 of Connecting to Your Inner Child. So, we talked about patterns in the opening, so let's get to the root. But before we get into that, I want to give you the opportunity to grab a blank piece of paper and some materials, some colors, pencils, color pencils, markers. If you have a dry erase board, hey, by all means, do you. I want you to get creative because this is an interactive video today. I'm really excited to share this with you guys because this is something that I had adopted into my life in order to help me learn patterns that I kept repeating. You know, a lot of times we don't recognize the patterns until someone else points them out. And I don't know about you, but that's very frustrating for me. I want to be able to recognize when I am constantly repeating a cycle, because there's nothing worse than finding yourself repeating something that you feel you've done like 2 years ago. It's like now you're back in the same situation, having the same exact outcome, but with different people. Or it might even be the same person. Who knows? A lot of times that ends up happening too. So this video is interactive and it's to help you identify certain things that will help you to recognize patterns that keep popping up. So I'm so excited about this. If you want to pause the video, go get your stuffs and come back and join me, you can do that. But we're getting right into it. You know, I believe that so much of what eventually shows up externally often begins somewhere internally. It can be a thought, it can be a belief, it can be an emotional pattern, an intention, anything like that. And it is pretty much something that we are continuously giving our attention and energy to. And eventually we begin seeing the fruit of what's been cultivated. So today we are drawing a tree. It is a pattern tree. And before anybody starts judging my artistic abilities, let me tell you something. This is not that kind of channel. I'm not doing it. Don't y'all go in the comment section talking noise about my picture, all right? I'm probably about to draw the finest kindergarten tree you will ever see in your entire life, but it's mine. So, but I want this tree to represent something because patterns have roots. They don't usually appear out of nowhere. It's something feeding them. So I want you to think about an area of your life where you keep getting the same result, right? Maybe you keep saying yes when you really want to say no. Or maybe you keep procrastinating, or you have a tendency to avoid difficult conversations. Maybe you just keep shrinking yourself to make other people feel comfortable. Whatever yours is, don't judge it. Trust me, this is a judgment-free zone as well. I won't judge you, okay? But I just want you to notice it. I want you to notice the roots, right? The roots. What are your roots looking like? This is something that we can learn from children. Children are curious. They ask, why? Why is the sky blue? Why do birds fly? Why that bug look like that? Why this? Why that? I swear they go, y'all know what I'm talking about, parents out there. But adults, we notice something about ourselves we don't like, and instead of asking questions about it, we don't say why. We say, what's wrong with me? What if we change that question from what's wrong with me to why do I keep doing this? That self-awareness without self-condemnation. I don't want you to judge yourself, but what I want you to do is investigate the pattern. Just look into it. Get curious, right? That's gonna be my grass. My grass gotta be green because the roots is at the bottom, right? Put my green grass. Like, put the green grass just a little bit, because I still gotta finish drawing the rest of my tree. Okay, so I want to do something with you. I want you to finish this sentence. I keep finding myself. Okay, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. What's the first thing that comes to mind? I keep finding myself. Okay, I don't want you to put it in the comments because I know it's personal. Okay, but I just want you to think about it, and I want you to be honest with yourself. All right. And the second question is, what does this keep producing in my life? Don't fix it. Don't explain it. I just want you to notice. Self-awareness. I just want you to notice. I keep finding myself. And what does this keep producing in my life? Just get curious about it. Okay? So I'll give you mine, right? On my pattern tree, my thing was people pleasing and overgiving to people who weren't reciprocal. That was one of the patterns I had to become aware of, okay? There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a giving person, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But it comes to because I still am. I'm a giving person. I'm a loving person. I love people, genuinely love people. I love showing up for people, and it's just part of who I am. I'm the type of person, I don't like to hurt people's feelings. We all know how it feels to feel some type of way, right? But I never want anybody, like I always try to spare a person's feelings if I can, okay? So I felt like a lot of that people pleasing came in with that, okay? So I started noticing though, sometimes I was giving and giving and giving to the point where people who weren't giving, there were people who weren't giving anything close to what I was giving them, okay? I wasn't getting that same energy back. In the past, I would make myself available to people all the time. Like, it was crazy. I would constantly give people another chance. You know, I would always overlook, and I would just go straight to the potential of a person. I see the good in everybody, right? I would always try to understand where people was coming from, you know, and I give everybody benefit of the doubt. And somewhere along the way, I had to ask myself, why am I doing all this for people who aren't reciprocating it? Why? I kept finding myself in that same cycle over and over and over again. I would overdo and overwork and over relationship and over friend. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, why was I giving in the first place? You know, this is where I had to look beneath the behavior, because on the surface, giving looks good, right? Giving is a good thing, but what is happening at the root. What's going on underneath is beneath the surface, right? For instance, I had to look at things like I was afraid, and I'll write it in black, okay? I hope you guys could see it. I hope y'all can see this. But I had to look at things like, was I afraid of disappointing people? So I'm going to put like disappointing people, right? That was one root. Another one, did I want to feel needed? I'm going to just put needy, right? Was I hoping that people would give me the same love that I was giving them, right? So I'm going to put reciprocate love, because I wanted to be able to receive the same love that I was giving everyone else, right? Was I trying hard to understand everybody, understanding people, right? And that's a big one for me, because even as a spiritual life coach, like my job is to understand you. My job is to understand the client and try to understand what the need is, what's beneath the surface, and what is needed in order to help you elevate spiritually, right? And form a deeper relationship with God. So even in that, like, I think that's why I end up where I am right now, because I always wanted to try to understand people. Just the whys, And that's the thing. I was so busy paying attention to everybody else that I wasn't paying attention to myself. So my needs unmet, because I was so busy trying to understand everybody else, paying attention to what everybody else needs. Others' needs before my own. I felt like it would be selfish, right? Let me write that. And I'm going to put selfish with a question mark, because that's how I felt, right? I felt like if I cared about people more than myself, then that's what God wanted me to do, right? Like we help the people, but how am I help other people? I can't even help myself. I'm pouring from an empty cup. That's when all of this got uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable. Instead of only looking at my intentions, I started looking at the fruit that this was producing, right? So let's finish our tree. Let's build the trunk of the tree. So as we build the trunk, we got the little swirlies, and mine's got this little cute hole. Yes. Okay. So I want you to imagine what kind of fruit is going to come from these roots. I want to start adding some branches before we put anything, because these roots will produce a certain type of fruit. And what I'm gonna do is, being that this is a pattern tree, I'll put a little greenery. And we're gonna just put a little greenery here and there. And just a little bit, because I want to put some fruit. Do a little bit. We'll be talking about my tree. We'll be talking about my pattern tree. All right, so let's put some red fruit. What kind of fruit would these roots produce? I know for one, put me a little piece of fruit right here. You know what that fruit produced? That fruit produced exhaustion. I was exhausted. Oh my God. I was exhausted. Let me put me a little pink fruit right here. Right there. You know what fruit produced from these roots? Disappointment. That's the type of fruit that came from these roots. Exhaustion. Disappointment. Let me see. Let me put me a little orange piece of fruit up here. Put a little orange piece of fruit up there. Feeling unappreciated. I felt very unappreciated. You know another one? Ooh, this is a good one. What about them relationships? One-sided relationships. How many times have we ended up in a one-sided relationship? We were giving and pouring and giving, and that person would not reciprocate that energy. Oh, it's exhausting. It's It's disappointing when you've invested so much time and energy into a relationship and it's just so one-sided. Resentment is another one. I had the feeling that I was constantly pouring outward all the time without much coming back. I wasn't getting much back at all. And I had this realization. If I don't like the fruit, then why am I constantly watering this tree? Shouldn't I just let that go? Shouldn't I just let all of these roots just die? And I'm gonna tell you, that doesn't mean that the other people were horrible people. They weren't horrible people. I'm not about making other people the villain, because I take accountability, right? I take accountability for my own actions and my participation in the pattern, right? And with that being said, I couldn't control how much somebody else gave. You can't control people, but I could control how much access was given to me. I could control how much time and attention and energy was given to that tree, right? To that person, to those people, to that relationship. I began to think about the things that I controlled, which is myself. And that scripture I've been hinting on throughout this entire series, Matthew chapter 7, verse 16, when they talk about the fruit, you will know them by their fruit. In context, Jesus was speaking of false prophets in that particular scripture. But that imagery made me start asking questions about my own life. I wanted to start examining the fruit of the things that I was repeatedly participating in, you know? So instead of constantly asking, what did they mean? Why didn't they call me? You know, or why are they calling me after so long? Maybe they're just busy, or maybe I should give them another chance, you know? Instead of constantly asking those questions, I simply began to ask, what is this consistently producing in my life, right? You know, sometimes the fruit has already answered the question we're still trying to analyze. The fruit is the information. And this connects with what I mean when I talk about like energy and frequency. For me, part of frequency it's noticing what I'm repeatedly returning to. Is it the same belief or the same response, the same thought pattern, the same reaction or the same behavior, the same cycle, the same emotional posture? Repetition creates patterns. You heard my phone's confirmation. Repetition creates patterns, and patterns eventually produce something. Patterns produce something. In the book of Galatians, that's another beautiful image. In the book of Galatians, I think it's Galatians 6 and 7, it says, whatever one sows, that will he also reap. The law of reaping and sowing, seed, cultivation, fruit. The seed cultivates into fruit, right? The pattern tree. Maybe the question isn't only what's the vibe. Maybe sometimes we need to ask, what is the vibe producing? For me, breaking the pattern didn't mean, becoming cold. It didn't mean, fine, I'm not doing anything for anybody anymore. No, it didn't mean none of that. What it meant was I had to learn something much healthier. Reciprocity. I love reciprocity. That's my favorite word, y'all. The law of reciprocity. Everything is reciprocal. Everything. I could still love people. I could still be generous. I could still show up, right? I could still do those things without abandoning myself, just to show that I care about someone else. You know, I didn't have to do those things. I just started paying attention to who checks up on me without a hidden agenda, you know, or without like that weird energy, you know? Who's checking up on me? Who actually shows up? Who respects my boundaries? Who pours back? And when something wasn't reciprocal, I automatically just stopped compensating by giving more, you know? That was huge for me because I'm a giver. That's what I do. Like, I will love you. You remember that cartoon with Elmira? I will hug him and squeeze him and never. Like, I had a tendency to do that. I would even do it with my children, you know? Sometimes you just got to stop doing all the work, you know? You just got to let people free them. Just free them. See how they gonna move. See what they do. And if it's reciprocal, they will reciprocate. And if it's not, then you just be okay with just letting it go. Be okay with just releasing it, right? You'll finally get to see how much of the relationship you were holding up. Now I want you to come back to your pattern tree, okay? We've identified the root, you've looked at the pattern, and we've examined the fruit, and we're not ending there. You see, children don't just stare at dirt. They get in there. They plant stuff in it. They get in the dirt. So this is what I want you to do. Here's this week's wonder. I want you to ask yourself, what do I want to plant instead? And I want you to draw yourself a little seed. I want you to plant a little seed right there next to your pattern tree. That's my seed. And I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to plant instead? Like, what do you want to cultivate? Is it boundaries? Is it, because that's what I end up having. That's what I started doing. I cultivated boundaries, confidence, consistency, right? Peace, authenticity, reciprocity. Whatever it is, I want you to give whatever this new seed that you plant, I want you to give it your attention, whatever it may be. If you want to create more boundaries, you know, that's your seed. And I want you to pay more attention to it. Pour more into whatever you want to cultivate to create something new. I want you to create a new tree, a new pattern tree by cultivating something. So you've identified the pattern. Now we're going to move on to something new and we're going to break that pattern. What is it that you want to plant that you can give your attention to? Here's what I want you to remember this week. Don't shame your patterns, okay? I want you to just get curious about them. Look at the roots, right? I want you to look over your pattern tree. Look at the roots. What feelings had been hidden underneath? What was going on beneath the surface? Notice what you had been repeating. I want you to look at the fruit that this produced. Because breaking a pattern is not about becoming someone new. Maybe it begins with you becoming aware of what you've been cultivating and deciding, I don't want to water this anymore. And for me, I learned that I can be loving without abandoning myself. I could be giving without overgiving. I can care about people without carrying the entire relationship. So here's your vibe check. What's one pattern you're ready to stop watering? And remember, stay grounded, stay aligned, and stay in your vibe. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.